Hello, hello. Welcome back. Taking a look again at today's headlines. I found this one. Russian hackers show why you need to change your office printer password. So I have compiled information from Mashable, Microsoft, CSO. It's a computer security site, the subsidiary of IDG, the International Data Group. The CSO had some very good information. Also, the last one, Avanan, on botnets and how to defend against them. So all the links are in the description per usual. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way. I am going to talk about passwords a little bit. And yes, I'll just apologize right now. I'm sorry. And I thought Scott Adams had an excellent point right there. Okay, now that that's done, let's talk about IoT. Yep, the Internet of Things. Never heard of it? Well, yes, you have. IoT is already everywhere. It's a blanket term for various gadgets that most people don't think of as computers, but that still have processing power and an internet connection. These devices, ranging from home routers to security cameras to baby monitors, often include an embedded, stripped-down Linux system. Yikes. Are you thinking of something at home or in your library? I know I am. And this is actually a good image from Getty Images. As you may be thinking now, all of these things have passwords on them. Generally, we leave them as the default password. That is, we do not change them, and that's the crux of the matter as far as changing them. Why do we need to change passwords? Let me introduce the definition of an internet bot or a botnet. These little things are crucial to the understanding of the significance of passwords. In a nutshell, a botnet is a collection of interconnected computers, the bots, or they call them zombies, that are under remote control from some outside party. Usually these computers have been compromised by some outside attacker who controls aspects of their functionality without the owners knowing. Because there are many bots, the controllers basically have access to a sort of hacked together supercomputer that they can use for nefarious purposes. And because the bots are distributed over various parts of the internet, that supercomputer can be hard to stop. The very first botnet was built in 2001 to send spam, and that's still a common use. Because the unwanted messages are being sent from so many different computers, they're hard for spam filters to block. Another common use, and the one the Mirai botnet served, is as foot soldiers in a DDoS attack, that is a distributed denial of service attack, in which a target server is simply bombarded with web traffic until it's overwhelmed and knocked offline. Now, we may not remember this, but in 2017 or 2018, Reddit went down, part of Netflix went down. There were quite a number of DDoS attacks, and this was part of that Mirai botnet. And I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but that was a bad attack, a distributed denial of service attack, DDoS. Several sources estimate that by the year 2020, some 50 billion, that's with a B, IoT devices will be deployed worldwide. IoT devices are purposefully designed to connect to a network, and many are simply connected to the internet with little management or oversight. Such devices must still be identifiable, maintained, and monitored by security systems or teams, especially in large, complex enterprises. In 2016, the Mirai botnet was discovered by the malware research group Malware Must Die. The botnet initially consisted of IP cameras and basic home routers, two types of IoT devices commonly found in the household. As more variants of Mirai emerged, so did the list of IoT devices it was targeting. The source code for the malware powering this botnet was eventually leaked online, and that was from Microsoft. And we do have bigger problems, as the leaked botnet is an even bigger threat now than Mirai. So this means, of course, that other hackers now have immediate access to the creation code of this bot, so they don't have to reinvent the wheel. And there we have it. More malicious bots can be created even easier and quicker now, as we can see with the leaked botnet. Now, just remember, if we're getting lost in the weeds here, and I swear I'm going to get to passwords, but keep this picture here in mind. This is your typical home or library or business. We have the internet, you have your ISP or internet service provider, comes into your home or library through the router modem, connects. You can have direct connections with wires, or of course wireless connections with other devices. Remember, if you're thinking of nothing else, you think of the internet connection in your own home. And by 2017 here, there were 8.4 billion of these things out there on the internet. That is cameras, wireless electrical sockets, phones, refrigerators, Roku sticks, Kindles, Amazon Fire Sticks, smart TVs, everything you can think of. It's an IoT device. Cars. Mirai took advantage of these insecure IoT devices in a simple but clever way. Rather than attempting to use complex wizardry to track down IoT gadgets, it scanned big blocks of the internet for open telnet ports, then attempted to log in using 61 username and password combos that are frequently used as the default for these devices and were never changed. In this way, it was able to amass an army of compromised closed-circuit TV cameras and routers ready to do its bidding. Now, remember also, these bots, or if your computer is a zombie, they do not disrupt the computer entirely. That is the biggest problem with them. Most antiviruses and firewalls will help stop these bots. That's why we have them, so you don't have these open ports. But the big thing with them is that your computer can be a zombie, that is a lower functioning computer, without it being infected with a virus that goes to try and destroy everything on the computer. So I went over to Zone Alarm, and they have 8 signs your PC might be a zombie. That is part of this botnet. Your computer's performance is noticeably slower, even when you don't have many applications open. Criminals want your computer to carry out illegal actions, and those actions require the use of your computer's processor and network. So if your computer and or your internet connection speed has become sluggish, it may be because of a zombie. You receive unexplained error messages. Your computer crashes frequently. You discover messages in your outgoing email folder that you didn't send. A tip-off might be if you receive bounce-back notifications from people you don't know or haven't emailed. It takes your computer longer to shut down and start up. You discover an unexpected loss of hard disk or flash storage space. Your web browser frequently closes for no obvious reason, or your access to computer security websites is actually blocked. Avanan says here, if you suspect that you've been part of a botnet attack, do the following. Reset your router, and I've got this picture here when it says reset your router. How do you do that? Go to your router, which probably looks something like this, has maybe a couple antennas, maybe it doesn't, that's fine. Go find it and flip it over. When you look at the bottom of it, your SSID and the wireless password will be filled in, so all of these things would be filled in, as well as there may be instructions on the bottom of the router as to how to exactly log in and reset the entire router. Okay. You can actually see there's a small thing that says router login here, and there is actually a regular website, so you don't have to be really computer savvy to do this. But do reset your router, and the instructions for resetting would be on the bottom of your router. Everyone is a little different. They talk about downloading antivirus software, remove factory installed passwords on IoT devices and routers, and replace them with long, strong passwords that use a balance of numbers, letters, and special characters. Upgrade your router even if it is working fine. Newer routers do have more robust security protocols. Also, on a side note, if you do upgrade your router, you may notice a significant increase in speed. I know we did at home when we upgraded or actually simply bought a new router that was several years younger than the one we were using without any extra payments or increase in internet speed. The router itself certainly worked considerably faster than our old one. So this was a longer video. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, please email me, leave me a comment, like, subscribe. Thank you very much.